What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be doing some sort of Grand Theft Auto 6 video. I know I've done like two on the channel before. Um, they were kind of like just quick made like AI videos. Just wanted to test that formula out. It was a little meh, so we're going to try something different. Today we're actually going to be doing something where I actually sat down, wrote kind of a script, kind of did some things, thought of some things that I could put into just kind of some basic stuff. So for today, we're kind of explaining some just different topics here. Um, so I kind of made a script. We're gonna kind of go through it. All right. So we all know that GTA 6 is gonna be a massive and it's gonna break records. But will they be able to deliver on this hype? Are they gonna be able to give us what we actually want for in the game, or features that we actually need, or things that'll make the game fun? Because sure, there's the single player and the multiplayer. The single player is always, oh, do mission, do a mission, do a mission. Here's an extra. Do some missions, do some missions. But what they don't understand is usually after, at least for me and some other people I know, after we do the missions, we kind of like doing, the game's done, we're able to free roam, and we still want to be able to go and do things. So, like, I want to be able to go out, have like kind of semi-real life events happen, like random things, kind of strangers and freaks, but like stuff that's not very scripted, that just kind of happened randomly. Some like real live events that just kind of pop in and out. Let's say I'm going in, I'm already beat the game, I'm on single player, I'm playing as Lucia. Let's say I want to go in and rob a bank. We go into the bank. I want to be able to still be able to do these certain things. I don't want stuff to be limited to just missions. Like from the one heist that we were doing in the 2022 leaks that you saw Lucia and Jason both in the Hank's Waffles robbing the place. I don't know if that was a mission, them testing something or not. I want to be able to do that kind of whenever. It'll kind of give us some more freedom to kind of explore and do more than what the game is just giving us for these missions. Like I want to be able to semi roleplay. Like if I'm robbing a, let's say, some building, let's say a gas station, make it easier. I want to be able to have that person like stay as a hostage, not just either run out or just do an animation and then some like voice lines that's like pre-recorded up to five, so it's only like five different things that you hear the same every single time. I want to have like different things. I want to be able to do certain things. Like I want to be able to do it this way. I want to be able to either break through the back door, break into a safe, do it without them even knowing. I want to be able to just go in loud, just either be able to get the person, like shoot them, and then just steal the money and then go. I want to be able to negotiate, try to get the hostage to like give me the money. I want to be able to like hold them hostage and have the cops like make demands and try to get the hostage back without them getting harmed. Just small things like that. Like sure, being able to fuel up your car will be awesome, but some of these things are very minor and they can be very tedious. Like that, I wouldn't be too mad for, especially if they were to implement something like, oh, let's say this car you're able to drive for an hour and you need gas, and then you fill it up and it's good for an hour. Just something simple like that. Like something that's not very tedious, but still a feature that'll make things feel not very realistic, but just feel more, you know, give us more grasp of the game, be able to do what we want with it. Even if that comes with features that we can turn on and off, or if that's a difficulty thing. Like, oh, if I want to play easy, there's none of that. It's super arcadey. It plays more similar to GTA 5. Okay, maybe there's an option that I can play, let's say, hardcore, and then I have to fill up on gas every 20 minutes. I'm able to implement more physics, so hardcore mode will, like, again, like I have to fill up my car and gas every once in a while. During missions, it's harder because the whole gas thing. Maybe I have to, guns are more realistic. So instead of carrying, let's say it's 3 max, I can only carry what's actually easy to carry on person, like a handgun and maybe like a shotgun in a trunk or something like that. Or even adding harder driving, like make the game more difficult to drive and make it options. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. because then we can go from each difficulty, replay the game. It gives it more replayability, and the streaming aspect of playing a campaign game would be more fun and immersive. Okay, now since we got over some of those things, let's just go in from what I was planning on discussing. So, what I was planning on discussing today would be, some looking into some elements found by the trailer and leaks and from 2022, things that we've noticed, things that we know are kind of confirmed, and things that we aren't 100% sure on, but could definitely be in the official gameplay. And at the very end, I'm actually going to be also talking about the marketing cycle and what I think will happen, giving my prediction on that. And again, I don't know anything. This is all speculation. I'm just kind of giving my 2 cents on it, what I think might happen, and etc. So, firstly, the Grand Theft Auto series started small, like other series in companies' early days, in an attempt to break the habit of lazy and unrefreshing gameplay that everyone was already used to, with games that were not very story driven, and when they did have a story, they were lacking in gameplay. And with the first Grand Theft Auto games, they weren't too sure what was going on because they were just trying to build upon it, see what was working, and then try to make smaller games. And they eventually found out what worked very well and then transformed them into these now from 2D top down open world games to now a full HD experience, expensive experience that's 3D open world, and it's set to captivate a new audience and community, being catered to obviously mature an audience, but again, they didn't really care about that. Kids would still be playing these games like GTA 4. I was young and I was still playing GTA 4. It was a good game. And it being catered to a more mature audience made it to where we can have certain features other games didn't. At the time, they wanted to make more games more family friendly, or either more playable to everybody by making it to where if it's E for everyone, anybody can play it. Where now, if I'm, let's say, 5 and I want my dad to buy me GTA 4, if I'm going to a GameStop, they're going to be like, oh, did you know that this has this and that? Well, they're not going to sell me the game. And then my dad's going to be like, oh, hell no. So they were kind of the first to really do that. They were bringing gritty scenes and gameplay to gore and mild language, straight up parodying today's world with uh, stupid norms and without trying to stir up too much controversy, at least nowadays. But getting into some like known information that we know is 100% guaranteed to be in the game, and some stuff that's not 100%. Um, what we do know is that we're gonna have two characters. It's gonna be a male and a female protagonist. The female protagonist is gonna be named Lucia. Officially, officially was announced and everything in the trailers. That's what she's called. Everything. And then we have Jason. Still not confirmed, but noted from 2022 leaks. We don't know if that's his name. We know Jason's gonna be in the game, but we don't know if that's gonna be his name. So we do know they're going to be like a couple type of like storyline, like kind of a Bonnie and Clyde. We don't know if that's going to be like driven into the actual story, like, oh, at the end, both of them die. They're both dead. We don't know if that's going to happen. Because it's not entirely doubtful what happens or what's going to be the cause of that. Because in RDR1, spoilers by the way, once you play through the game, you are John Marston, and at the end of the game, you die, and then you play the rest of the game as Jack. It would be really hard for them to pull something like that off, unless it was something like, oh, at the end of the game, they are together, everything's working, they have a child, she gives birth, and something happens, they die, right? They piss some people off, they get gunned down. Maybe the end of the game is maybe you're a grown-up kid, Lucia's son, or whatever, and you part of the game is you actually getting revenge for them. We don't know the plot. We don't know what's going to happen 100%. It would be interesting because we haven't seen anything like that really in the game other than RDR. But again, that's a completely different series with its own different plots and storyline. Again, that's way back when. So this is like kind of modern day paradising. And again, we are still unsure about the story 100%. We don't know if they are together right away, if they are friends and just happen to grow a connection, or their exes splitting apart and trying to make it work as criminals. We just don't know. Now, some features we know that are semi confirmed from the leaks, but may not be 100% guaranteed due to cuts in playability. We know that Jason's going to have an ability similar to GTA 5 characters and RDR characters, similar to get like special awareness like Deadeye, but instead he'll be able to see valuables or stealable items in locations and seemingly even through walls. And it'll be used to know what to take, what's valuable or what's not. I don't know exactly how it's going to work, but that's kind of what was shown off in that kind of leak video. If you've seen them, you know what I'm talking about. But with Lucia, nothing has been really confirmed. Again, in the trailer, only a couple things were confirmed. It looks like that they're kind of together. She went to prison. It kind of showed off some social media type aspects that we'll get into here in a little bit. But we don't really know what's happening with Lucia or with Jason 100%. Now, with Lucia, there's been some kind of rumors going around that she'll have some sort of ability to be like some sort of hacker, like kind of imagine it like more like watchdogs, but not like super crazy. It's kind of more base and kind of simple, like, oh, I'm able to see that this car needs a special tool. Okay. At least we saw an immobilizer bypass. Maybe she needs to use that item, and maybe only she can use that item properly to get it faster or whatever, to be able to get the car working and running quicker compared to other older cars where you're just able to put wires together and it works. I've even heard YouTubers, well, mostly one YouTuber, mention the possibility to make money through some sort of cryptocurrency, not connected to IRL coins like blockchain or NFTs, but it's in-game equivalent to add extra gameplay and extra features and uniqueness. Maybe she'll be able to hack and steal crypto coins to use to uh, in game to be able to buy or transfer to real money, or if she'll be able to, I don't know, maybe she'll have like some sort of minor. We don't really know what's gonna happen. So mostly for what I mentioned, for the whole kind of not really Bitcoin, but the cryptocurrency thing, I'm gonna shout out Cyberboy for that one. I actually watched one of his videos a couple weeks back where he was actually talking about that, and I thought it was a really cool idea that they could definitely get away with, especially since in GTA 5 they had that stock market, and it was actually a pretty cool feature. It was pretty basic, couldn't really do too much with it, but it was a extra feature you could use. In GTA 6, I wouldn't mind them bringing something like the Epsilon program back, some sort of Scientology or some crazy religion thing, just stuff like that's really cool to see. It just gives extra features and adds more storyline and gameplay. Okay, so now jumping into some like social media aspects, we also know that there will be some in-game version of social medias. As you can see, different types of UI in the trailer showing multiple different kinds of, it seems, possibly introducing the connection for online players to use social to post like in-game real life things. I do remember being told about a massive overhaul to the social club, showing more activity to bring in these features like an app that, like the GTA 5 app that we had, we can use on our phones to be able to do all these extra features like custom license plates, stuff like that. The Chop game, the iFruit app. Like, make posts through GTA 6 to the community, like kind of giving that social club feel for the online mode, and then be able to like, comment, follow different creators and stuff through there, and then having all this stuff that you can see in game, like, oh, I have this really cool car. Here's me drifting around this corner, and I'm uploading that, and then having people like that, and then you being able to pull up your phone in game, and also being able to interact with that stuff in game instead of just in real life. That would be a really cool feature that if they were to add, I would not be mad at. Now, some speculative things people either really want or rumored to be in the game, or stuff that's people have leakers have apparently said. Um, Things like dynamic weather, meaning not just being able to switch from sunny to raining to windy, but more like along the lines of, let's say it's slightly sunny and then goes slightly cloudy, and then 5 minutes later it's starting to sprinkle, and then from sprinkle we're getting heavy rainstorms, and then from that we're getting a hurricane. We have big waves, and then we're having windstorms, etc. Unfortunately, it seems that they've probably have scrapped that, um, which is kind of unfortunate because again, that seems like something that would be a lot more work, and you'd have to have a lot more planning and trying to optimize that. That might be something they might add later when they, let's be honest, probably add some sort of enhanced edition that they'll have to do in like 10 years. But some other thing that might have been scrapped or potentially talked about is a potential of world damage or environmental damage. This would be a nice touch for small instances, but very hard to pull off large scale. Like if I'm going around a corner and I hit a light post breaks like it does in GTA 5 and GTA 4, but there's a tree. I'm able to hit that tree and knocks over. Let's say there's a building, it causes some actual damage to the building, stuff like that. Not super crazy, but not something where like, oh, if I want to throw a grenade at this random wall, I blow a hole through this wall and now I can walk through it. Not meaning that, but smaller damage to the world would be pretty cool. The reason why I say it's probably been scrapped is because it's just so hard to have all this stuff render out real time with all this physics based stuff and it work or look properly, and then it also run on a console that's not super powerful, but it definitely has its limitations. Because you got to remember, this game has to run at least 30 frames for it to even be playable on a $500 console. And then they're also optimizing it for a console that costs $250. But I'd call it safe to say it's probably scrapped and not even bothered even talking about it anymore. One of my favorite topics, though, we're going to be jumping into is going to be the enterable buildings. And no, not just the main needed storyline buildings. I mean more than half of all visual buildings. Enterable, a person connected to Rockstar Games that leaked new footage, messaged people and was apparently telling them, "Hey, I saw the game. I've I would say that over the map, it's about 75% of enterable. All buildings are enterable." And I call back to one of the documents they patented, saying that they have a new generative AI that will be able to link certain terms with a certain building that they can use to make an interior look a certain way based on this, and it's randomly generated. Not saying that they are using it to where every single time I load up the game, an interior looks different every single time, but more along the lines of they kind of pre-render this out and it's presetted, so it's pretty much the same every single time and it's preset. But when I'm driving past a window, it looks like I can see into it and I can actually see something, and it's preset stuff that makes sense to that building and not just some random like factory where you have a dark window that you can't see inside of. That just is a texture over it. Now, since we talked about what we could potentially see with the upcoming game in the Grand Theft Auto series, um, let's talk a little bit more about their marketing cycle, since it's very weird in what they're doing because they normally haven't done stuff like this for their marketing cycle. We pretty much know the game has been mostly finished since I'd say about 2023, about mid-year, end of the year. I'd say they've been working on the game primarily to polish, optimize, and prepare extra content and marketing, and making sure that bugs are out of the way for the launch and not making it a Cyberpunk 2077. And probably particularly making sure that the new online mode is just justified, including their new online modding engine, which I do believe to probably release with Grand Theft Auto Online mode, which might be not right away, it might be like a couple months after, or it might not even come out until PC launch. I, I I'm very strong about that. I think that's what's taking up most of their time is getting all this stuff set up, but also getting it finished enough to where they can release at least the campaign and then a month later be able to release, or a couple months later release the online component. And our new modding engine for online is going to be called Rome. It's been already kind of leaked, not like 100%, but it's been like rumored and like leaked pretty heavily. It'll stand for Rockstar Online Modding Engine, also known as Rome. It'll be just being able to do all these extra features more than normal and be able to add user generated content. That's why they've been in talks with like creators at like Epic Games, and then Roblox to get in touch and see what they can possibly do to cook up some things. Probably integrate some maps already at launch, I'd assume so. We do know that they will release GTA 6 when it's 100% ready. They'll release it, which leads me with more confidence um, to say with how intensive and quiet they have been with the deadlines and all that. I don't think the game will be delayed, especially since it's been semi confirmed to be internally delayed already, despite their track record with delays we we know the game is wanted immediately, and they know they don't want to disappoint us. They don't want to disappoint us with delays since the last news we got officially was from a trailer saying fall 2025, and that was over a year ago already. So they know we need this. Bringing me into the marketing run will most likely kind of confirmed by Borderlands 4 release announced for that September of this year. That GTA 6 will release probably late October, early November, which leads us with news to be released either early or late April, and with next investor call happening in May. This makes it very plausible due to wanting the most hype and then the bump with the sales and the stock with the shareholders with news of GTA 6 around the corner. If that's either a trailer, an announcement, screenshots, even artwork, it will be announced in this time. Currently, we have rumors of late March and early April, but I assume March is just too early for type, especially since with the investors call, it'll be more than a month away at that point. My only way to make that work, if we got an announcement like we did with trailer 1 for trailer 2, or some new info and set to be released in late or early April. So what I'm pretty much saying is that with the investor call, they're gonna want to push like a trailer or any news or information about GTA 6 closer to that date, so then there's more hype around when the shareholders will meet and have this call slash conference, which will boost their stock significantly, and especially with May kind of confirming if it's either going to be delayed 100% or if it's going to be on track 100%. Sure, months away from release, like 3 months, they can be like, sorry guys, it's delayed. But if they do that after giving a pretty much a guaranteed of what they're going to be doing, that hurts their stock so much. They're going to want to cut it as close as far back as possible. So May, they're going to be trying to cut this down immediately. So if it is going to be delayed, they're going to want to get it out and tell people, hey, we think it's going to be delayed. Otherwise, their stock will suffer. So that's kind of my theory, is that GTA 6 information will probably come out in April, primarily more at the end of April, I'd assume, to mid-April. I'd say late March or early April, I'd say they'd announce something, make like some sort of post talking about, hey, the game is almost there. We are so excited to share more info very shortly. They'll give us days, a time, and they'll be like, we have so much in store to show you guys in the coming months. Don't worry, we haven't forgot about you. Just something along those lines. They'll probably release something. Let us know that they are still very hard at work, making sure this game will come out exactly how we want it. I think that's going to do it for today's video. I kind of just wanted to sit down and talk about some basic things that I really wanted to talk to you guys about. So yeah, if you like these types of videos, just comment below, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. I can definitely make more of these if you guys would like. Anyways, appreciate you guys watching. See you later.